Welcome to a new episode of Outside the Panels with your host, Johnny the Machine Hughes.
Welcome everyone to an episode of Outside the Panels. I'm your host, Johnny the Machine Hughes, and as you know, I absolutely love it when we have returning guests back on the show. This gentleman I met during lockdown. We had some fun on some online stuff, and he's back again. I've lost count of how many times he's been on the show. It is the incomparable Mr. Todd Black. Todd, how's it going?
Oh, it's just wonderful to be back, Johnny. I am so honored to grace you with my presence. Oh, what a highlight of your week must be.
You got me presents. Cool.
No,
I mean,
presents.
it was my birthday a
Presents.
couple of days ago, so bring it on.
Well,
you got
presents.
Oh,
No,
right,
presents. Or presents. Also, it's my birthday in a week, so if anything, you should be getting something to me.
Oh, happy birthday!
Close enough.
Dude, how's it going?
Hanging in there, you know. I wish the weather would make up its mind. It was cold a few days ago, and it's like 80 today. I'm just like, make up your mind.
We have water. We have water teeming from the sky. So any minute now I'm going to go out and build a boat or something. That's all I'm saying. All right. So tell us what's going on in Tokyo Blade Detectives.
Well, as you have beautifully put in the background, we are on Tokyo Blade Detectives number 8, which is the last issue of our second volume, which I'm very proud about. I honestly didn't know if you were going to make it this far, Johnny, so I'm very grateful to everyone who has supported me on this, including you. And this is what I like to call the second issue of the Interlude Saga, which is my epilogue, interlude, prologue for what's coming and what has already happened.
Okay.
In it, Miko and Michio are reacting to the events of Tokyo Blade Detectives number 7, which I will not spoil, but bad things happen. Bad things happen. And they're trying to figure out what to do next, and we get some really cool backstory on a certain character, and we have a very, very, very dark ending that will tease what's going to happen in arc number 3, which will hopefully start next year. So very fun stuff.
So you mentioned during your little bit there that you were worried that you weren't going to get this far.
Yeah.
As a creator, then, when you sort of like step into the void to create this fantastic story you've got going on with its various influences, which we talked about, how far do you plan ahead? Do you plan the whole thing out and see where you get to, or do you kind of plan in chunks so that you can kind of say, well, you know what, that's that. I'm happy with this arc and I'm happy with that arc. It doesn't need to go any further past that.
Honestly, in this case, it's a little bit of both, because with this story, which I'm sure I've said on the previous appearances,
tell us again. This could be someone's very first book.
That is very true. So let me just recap. Tokyo Blade Detectives is an anime-style comic set 200 years into the future, where country of Japan has been burned to the ground by war, rebuilt with technology, and to try to stop the madness, they make a law that no one can break, no guns allowed, and that creates a power vacuum. So they make laser swords. Yeah, to royalty-free laser swords to fill that vacuum, and that gives rise to 5 factions who are trying to take over the government. Tokyo is in a perpetual state of chaos, and the citizens are just trying to survive. One of which is our 16-year-old detective named Miko, who's our main character, alongside her much older business partner Michio. And in the first arc, they get a case that changes everything. And so, yeah, everything. And like that was one of the important things. Is like for that first arc, I had to establish why this is when we're starting the story. You know, because like I just explained a lot of like why I wasn't talking about the wars, why I wasn't talking about the factions more, why was I focusing on Miko? Because I had to have her story mean something. And by the first arc, I do feel we did that. With the second arc, it was about, kind of focusing in, showing more of the danger of Tokyo. And the third arc will also do the same, because again, this place is, it has like this Gilded Age kind of look or feel to it, where everything looks great because it's got technology, it's got, pop music and everything. It's like, oh, it's totally Japan, but like there's chaos everywhere. And the people are just, like, yeah, that happens. That happens.
It's sci-fi feudal Japan.
I like that.
It's probably how I'd sort of go with it.
I like that. But
feel free to use that. Feel
I will.
free. That's my gift
No,
to you.
I already used it. I thought of the idea, Johnny. I totally thought of that. I didn't hear that from you. I totally thought of that. Copywriting already.
Uh-huh.
No. Anyway,
Yes.
but going back to your original question, one of the things I knew I felt I had to do, because to me, this is a story I could, not like an anime, tell
Mhm.
for quite some time, because there's so much material between Miko, Mishio, the 5 factions. We're going to meet the Emperor of Japan soon. That's a tease for the next arc. And his role is going to be very, very important. And I decided, just because of how my brain works, I know what's going to happen at certain points in the story. Like, I know what
Mm.
happened in issue 25, which is going to dramatically change the entire series. And I also know what's going to happen a little bit later on with one of the key factions, because it brings in this new group into Tokyo. But how I get there, I usually just think in chunks. So that's why I do the 4-issue arcs, and
Mhm.
like 3 issues for one story, and then the interlude saga. And
Mhm.
then like that's a chunk. Then I'm like, okay, what's this next chunk? What's this next chunk? And every chunk for me has to matter. There is no
Mhm.
filler in Tokyo Blade Detectives, because the moment I do filler, I'm going to lose someone. Even if they don't realize, oh, this is important now, they will know it's important later. And I make
Mm.
sure that with every story is like, this is important why now. It's why it's important now, but there's also teases for later. That's why the interlude saga is so important for me.
So I mean, the thing I thought about when I was kind of looking through this, and you have done fantastic 8 issues in. I remember reading something about J. Michael Straczynski, the Babylon 5 guy, who said that every character he wrote for the show had a trapdoor, so that they could, if it got to a point where something happened and they couldn't go very far with that character or with whatever, they could trapdoor the character out and continue with the main arc. Now, when you're talking about 25 issues and plus, you're going to have some trapdoors built in just in case stories kind of. It's fair enough having the key points that you want, but then how you get there could vary.
Absolutely.
You need to be quite flexible when you kind of think about the journey that you're on.
That is
When you,
absolutely true.
so
And
how do you keep that consistency? Because I mean, you know what comic book geeks are like. I tell you what, man, if there's an area of consistency and continuity, you know what's going to happen. You're going
yeah.
to get people telling you, "Hey, man, that lamp in Spider-Man broke, and then it's back there again, isn't it?" Yeah, there's one for you.
No, I know what you mean. And first of all, excellent using J. Michael Straczynski. I love Babylon 5. It's my dad's favorite sci-fi. It's one of mine as well.
Makes me feel
Um,
old when people say stuff like that. Thanks,
it,
man.
no, it's like JMS is incredible. Of course, he had the 5-year plan, and he knew
Mm,
how to make it work. And you were right that they trapdoored some people, and I never thought of it like that. I never heard that quote, so
mm.
that makes it interesting. I could talk about Babylon 5 all day, but
We'll do that in a show, defo.
done.
I'll do that.
It's like the name of the place is Babylon 5.
The year is 2259.
Yeah, was the dawn of the third age of mankind. So, but it is that issue, and I think that's actually one of the reasons why I like Tokyo so much, is that because of the fluid state of events that I'm going to be crafting, there are ways that I can trapdoor characters should I think that we need that spark. And in issue
Mm,
25, I'm not going to say someone gets trapdoored, but they're going to get close to that.
mm.
And it's like,
But
oh, this is a major character. Why is this happening? Like, oh, this is why it's happening. It built up to it. And there's another character who I won't spoil, but I know how they're going to die. And it's going to completely rock certain characters and completely change paradigms because of the importance of this one singular character. And that's the flexibility you need to have as a
mm,
writer in this kind of a setting, because when you think of like Batman or certain like DC and Marvel properties, the very bad joke that we all know about nowadays is that death never lasts forever.
that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Damn you, Jean Grey. Damn you to hell.
Not okay. I'll be fair. It's not just Jean, and technically Jane didn't die. She totally did. But
I mean,
like,
she was the first one that came back.
yeah. But also, if you think of like Jason Todd, Bucky
After.
Barnes, Superman,
After.
all, huh?
After.
Yeah, after. Alfred, Batman technically died.
Alfred's still dead.
Well, yeah,
Alfred's
but then they did like the whole, oh, I'm actually a demon now. It was weird. Also, Wonder Woman technically died, except she didn't. She just got ascended to the higher plane of quintessence. So, okay.
and now she's back.
Yeah, now she's back. I liked it. I liked it when Hippolyta was Wonder Woman. I'm like, yeah, power to
I thought, yeah, I
Hippolyta.
like that. You know, that was cool. I like Hippolyta, but definitely from a Justice Society point of view. I love me some Justice Society.
Yeah. We need to talk about this Shazam TV series idea I have. You'll like it because it has a JSA in it. Anyway, but you need to have this flexibility to where you say these characters can have bad things happen to them. Like not a spoiler, but Miko is going to be prevalent, like pretty much the whole time. All right, because it's her story. Like this is, how does this 16-year-old girl live in this version of Tokyo?
She's Luke Skywalker. She's
our Luke Skywalker or Harry Potter or what
yeah, she's the titular character that has to. She's our way into this world, and we follow her.
Yeah, and Michio's the same way. Like they have that two different viewpoints. One is the younger, one is the older, and we'll find out more about Michio's backstory as we go on. But with the other characters, like the factions, the Emperor, we met a boyfriend of Vika's recently. We just introduced the bodyguard of the Empress and Wolf. There's these other characters where they are important, but they can die, and I'm going to emphasize that in Tokyo. Bad things happen. Like this isn't one of those anime where like all these characters, they're gonna live, they're gonna make it to the end. Not unlike Babylon 5, things happen. People leave. The telepath that you really like turns out to be a sleeper agent because trapdoor. King. like when you said the trapdoor line, that's the first character I thought of.
Really, I thought of Sinclair.
Okay, well, Sinclair. Okay, that's a good example too. But I never thought of it like I don't think of it like that because I know the personal reasons why he left. But I understand why the trapdoor on that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think for Babylon 5, I think the trapdoor never fails.
Yeah.
I think by removing Sinclair and making him the spiritual leader, I think you make Sheridan so much better. Because what you got to think about is you can't have one guy who is your prophet, your warrior, and the future as well. You can't have that one person. That's just too coincidental. Yeah, so by splitting off the spirit element in Sinclair and then giving the warrior to Sheridan, I think it works so much better because it makes sense.
Yeah, and they brought him back. I mean, we got the Babylon Squared two-parter, which was great.
I love that. When you watch the end of that episode and then you go back and watch Soul Hunters, it's absolutely.
Yeah, and again, that's just the beauty of JMS as a writer is that even when he had to pull these trapdoors, he knew how to make it all work. Like, I lost Sinclair, here's Sheridan. How do I build up from this while not losing what I had with Sinclair? And they made that by the the Rangers and Ranger 1, and he was failing the whole time. Oh my gosh! So
you will betray the honor shock.
Yeah, and. Yeah, and everything was beautifully written, and I love that. And that's kind of the feel that I want with Tokyo is that even when these characters get trapdoored or something really bad happens, you're gonna see the impact, and it's not just gonna be, oh no, that character is gone now. It's no, that character is gone now. What's gonna happen now?
Yeah, and that's a fair reflection again. That sort of influence from Babylon 5 is the fact that characters do move on, yet their presence is still felt. Look at Lita coming back.
Yeah, Lita.
Lita's, I mean, she's right in the first one, and then she's gone, and then her presence is all the way through from that point on. And so, let's have a look at the Kickstarter because we've got some good news to share. We're not going to look at the video. I have checked it out before we started looking at the pod, and basically it's just you talking, so I might as well just talk to you live.
Yeah, I'd rather do it like this.
Yeah, although you are wearing a very swanky Tokyo Blade t-shirt on there. So
yeah, well, that t-shirt was from the very first Kickstarter, and I always wear it, and then I offered it as a reward, and I think like one person got it, and then I offered it again, and no one got it, so that kind of hurt.
I'll buy it because then how much do I have to pay? Give me that one. I'll take that one.
Seriously?
Right, where we're up to. So, are we sharing the screen? Can you see the screen?
Yeah, I can see the screen.
Perfect. Right, so it is currently sitting at $1,295 for a pledge goal of $750. So you've got 90 backers, not 10 away from the magic 100 that you love so much.
I love that number. I want 100. I need it, Johnny. I need more backers.
I don't know, but the warp core might have breached. I'm not sure whether. You've got a time recording. You've got 5 days left, so I think that's fantastic. And what I really enjoyed reading as I looked through the page is that you're fully funded in 2 days.
Yeah, it was okay. This is a story I love. I have to tell you.
Go for it.
Usually my Kickstarters like 3 to 5 days. Like for Tokyo, with 3 to 5 days. I usually have like lower goals, especially in the second arc, because I'm not afraid to admit I have some good jobs that allow me to fund most of the comic myself. But I do want the extra help to start the next issue.
Uh-huh.
So for like this one, I had a $750 American goal, and the first day we get close to about 500, and I was really, really happy. So I'm like, okay, that's a good start. Let's do this. And so second day, I'm trying to take it light. Like I'm not trying to push. People's like, it's like, where's your pledge? I want to be that guy yet. That's for the second half of the campaign. Like, where are you?
Yeah.
But I get to Tuesday. Okay, so I started on Sunday, so I'm on Monday night, and we're $57 away from the goal. So that's a very specific number because you could, but like there's no one pledge. Okay, I guess there is. There's 2 pledges you could do to get me over the goal with that number, but it's one of the higher ones. So I understand if people can. So I was thinking, okay, I get like get drawn into the comic backer, that's $50, and then maybe some others kick in. So it's like literally 11 p.m. at night. I make a late night post on Twitter saying like, hey, Kickstarter's up. We're $57 away from the goal. Let's do this. Let's get there tonight. It never works that way. It never works that way. It's like, dang you, Elon. But so I'm doing my thing, and then like 10 minutes later, I see I have some notifications. I'm like, great. And I see a good friend of mine, Mario Candelera, also a comic writer. He actually has a Kickstarter up right now, but he retweeted it. I'm like, thanks, Mario. Appreciate it, buddy. Then about 5 minutes later, I get another notification, and it goes as one word: done. What's
Cool.
done? I'm like, okay. So I go to the and then I check my phone, and the whole day I am waiting for an email from Kickstarter saying like, your project got funded. And I'm like, keep checking. I kept getting emails because of my other jobs. And then right when I looked at the tweet and said done, I look at my phone and it said I got funded. I'm like, wait a minute. I was at $57. Did this person pledge like 75 or 150? They go, no, they pledged exactly $57. So my immediate bell goes off. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting scammed, which has almost happened to me before. I have had some bad backers in the past, but I look up this person and I'm like, wait, this person's real. And not only is this person real, they're an actual screenwriter from Hollywood who just randomly saw my post and they go, yeah, I'll just pledge the $57.
Whoa, that's impressive.
It was so nice. And then the weirdest thing was they didn't even ask for a reward. And so I'm like, no, you just pledged $57. You just got me to my funding goal. Let me at least give you a reward. And they go, yeah, the reward's you getting to make the comic.
Cool. Keep that person's number when Tokyo goes Netflix.
Oh, I will actually, and I have actually had conversations with them about just general Hollywood writing because I do want to get into Hollywood one day.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, after this,
Hollywood.
yeah, the never ever ending Hollywood. Yeah. But we sound so old singing that song. By the way, it was like no one's gonna get that reference, but I got it.
That's cool.
I liked it, but I was just like, why can't I find more of these people? Why can't I find just these nice people and go, oh, this looks like a cool campaign. Let me just like throw some money to it. You can touch just $5 or $1 or whatever. And like again, this lady who is an accomplished screenwriter, like I looked at her credits, like she's legit. She pledged $57 just because she could, just because she saw a retweet from my friend, and that's why I mentioned Mario earlier. She saw his retweet and then pledged to my campaign. Like, okay.
Talking of your pledges, let's have a look and see what we've got. So for $1, you get your well, an email, a thank you email. Thanks for the support.
Yep.
Nice. $3 get you your digital PDF, which, as we've said before, Todd, vital for international
Oh yeah.
readers. You know, people don't mind dropping $3, $4, even $5 on the Kickstarter, but if it costs you 25 to get
Yeah.
the book sent to you, kind of bit
It's
becomes a little bit.
and
Yeah,
if you look right there, there's 15 people pledged. So
yeah.
that, I mean, you say, oh, but that's only $45, but that's $45 I'm making because
Mm,
these 15 people were like, oh yeah, I can just get this comic for $3.
yeah,
So
exactly. Cool. Future teasers for $5, 7 backers on that one.
yep.
That's the one I'd probably have gone for. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually just dropped for backers the official cover for Volume 2. It turned out really
Cool.
well. So if they had pledged, you all would have gotten to see that. So too bad.
Cool. Tokyo's 2 digital volumes. There you go.
Yeah, that's that one for me. And I know we talked about this, but like this is another one of those vital backers because, as you said, this could be the first time people are hearing about Tokyo Blade Detectives, and they're like, "But how do I catch up on a series that's already 8 issues in?" Here you go. You
Boom.
get for $10, you get all the issues sent directly to you, and 10 people have gotten it, so it means I have 10 new readers right there.
Perfect.
Very
Good call.
thank
Good
you.
call. There you go.
Yeah, there's a physical issue.
There's your physical. Ships anywhere in the world. Watch out. Look out for the shipping charges. I know.
Yeah.
I know. Kickstarters. You guys try and make it as equitable as possible. But for me, if I'm pledging, I want it to be equitable for you. You know,
Yeah.
so that I think to myself, if I've got a PDF, it's not costing any extra money to get the thing shipped to me, and I'm not paying anything. It's not coming out your profits. So
Yeah.
there you
I
go.
respect that, but I think for me, because of my situation, and honestly, I usually make more than my funding goal by a decent amount. Like we're like $500 over my goal right now. I charge generally like $5 for the single issues because that covers most postages, unless it's like Australia or something, because
Did
it's like, oh
I?
yeah, 15 bucks. I've had to send to Australia, New Zealand, Netherlands multiple times, Germany, Switzerland, I believe I sent some
Okay.
to. Canada is nice because that's just that's north, you know.
Yeah,
That's
just paper airplane it and throw it across there. Yeah,
so. But
maybe not that.
I try and be fair. I will never
Yeah.
do more than I don't know, like $10 for a
Yeah.
extra, just because I don't feel that's fair. I'd rather take the hit and make sure you get the comic because I just love that you all are supporting me. So
I think that's a good buy as well. $15, you get all that 45 stories. Does that include the stuff you've done for Source Press, or is that separate?
yeah, I throw that in. I don't think they
Uh,
care.
um,
And it's not costing them any money. It's
well, to be fair, you should check it out because the Source Press book. You know how much I love that book. You know, yeah. So that's
it's
a
still
really clever.
favorites.
It's a really clever book. So
Thank you.
well done on that one.
Yeah, I throw in my all the comics I've made plus my novels of the Sherlock Holmes series that I do. So you never know. There's a lot of in there for $15. So why aren't you pledging that?
25 books get you a script review.
No, $25 gets you a
$25. Sorry.
25 books. Yes, send me the books and I'll
Yeah.
give you the review.
I use my slang there. Sorry. So we've got plenty of different things going on,
Yes.
and what impresses me is how well you have maintained that the consistency of what you're doing, which is fantastic,
Yeah.
and two, you've managed to keep. Well, I'm seeing Kickstarters now, sort of like a PDF being $7. And I've got no qualms with people putting prices up. I get it. We're living in a cost crisis world, but $7 for a PDF.
Well,
Not quite sure.
I don't know which ones you were looking at, but my thing would be if it's like a higher page count. Like mine's 20 pages. So I feel $3 is fair because that's, you sometimes get $3 for a, 2024 page and that's full of ads. So I feel that's fair. Now, upcoming project that I have, Take the House, I believe we talked about before, my heist comic, that one's going to be close to 100 pages. So I probably will do something more like $10 for a digital PDF, just because you're getting more bang for your buck there.
That makes perfect sense.
Thank you. As in all things, it's about context. But if it was like a 20-pager for $7, I'd be like, that better be like a really good comic because they're paying that much, and I don't want to know what they're asking for physical. So
Yeah. Well, things looking grim.
yeah, this is actually one of my favorite openings because there's no dialogue in these first few pages, and yet we conveyed the emotion. Lon Vivant, my artist, did absolutely great job, especially that panel right there of Michio with him just looking so sad. It's like you feel it, and this is a direct outcome of the last issue. So
it's hard to do that sort of, because everyone thinks of comics as a visual medium to start with, but then you take away the words, and then it's really hard to convey that message across that context, as you mentioned before. It's really hard, but I think they've done very, very well there to get that.
I want to tell you a story because on Twitter the other day I was doing a regular post, like pledge to my Kickstarter and blah blah blah, and this person replied to me, and it really made me go, because they said, okay, these they had critique about the art. I'm like, okay, fine, everyone has critiques, but then they go, could use more dynamic panels, and I'm like, and I showed them those two pages we just showed, those two, and I'm like, it's a somber opening. It's not really meant to be dynamic.
Yeah.
Like, look at the whole comic before you judge about what's dynamic or not. I mean, like, don't be that person, ladies and gentlemen, where you see like 2 pages and go, well, they could do this a lot better. I'm like, it's 2 pages. For all you know, it's very, very important.
Well, and that's a really vital point. I mean, you've got to think it's motion versus emotion.
Beautiful. You're just spitting out the wise words today, Johnny. You're on
what
fire.
Can I say? It's not like my first rodeo.
No, it's not.
I absolutely, I don't get it. I don't understand why people would comment. I mean, yeah, fair enough. You're absolutely right. People do get a little bit touchy about art and stuff, and I get it. I do for Crusaders. I have to write reviews and stuff.
Yeah.
But the style that you're aiming for, the anime vibe, has to come with the anime tropes and stylistics. You can't just go, well, I'll tell you what, let's go all American Western art, and then they call it anime, because that wouldn't work. So you've got to have like the big eyes and the kind of pointy chins and all that sort of stuff.
And the characters need to feel Japanese. Like we just got done with the last page in the first rendition, like the two people that certain things are going to happen to, they looked emphatically American, and we have emphasized that there are other people of the world in Japan, because again, it's every country is mixed. That's just the way it is. But like these two, I'm like, no, they really need to look like a Japanese couple, and they need to redo. So, but yeah, the anime style is very important to me. And again, everyone has critiques. Like yesterday, Johnny, I was reading a Marvel comic, and I know, and it was an X-Men comic, which I love the X-Men comics. I do. I'm not going to say which one, but the art in it, in my opinion, was so bad. Like, there was stuff that if one of my artists like Lam or Alex had done this, I'd be like, no, you got to redo that. I'm not leaving that in the comic. Like, there were panels where there were characters like a slightly far away and they had like no faces. They just did like the one shade over the face. And it's like, we're not that far away. I should be able to see their details. And it was just like consistently throughout them, like, who approved this? And I know people are saying, like, Todd, didn't you just say don't do that? I'm like, no. I read the whole comic and then I made a judgment. All right. So I could see page by page, this was something that they just kept doing. And I'm like, why?
Speed.
Maybe.
Not that they're on speed.
Well, you never know.
It is purely. It's not just a Marvel thing. I see DC to it as well. They go for like an overall shape of a face and hope that gives you enough intimation that you think, hey, I know who that character is. Or they stick a couple of batteries on him and think, yeah, you'll know that's Batman. All right, okay. It's a thing. And those X books as well, they're going through a bit of a cast rechange, aren't they, with all the stuff that's going on Krakoa and stuff. So.
I'm very curious about how this is all going to end, because I love the Krakoa arc. I really do. And I actually came up with an idea. I don't know if we talked about this, but I came up with an idea of my own idea to introduce like a new group of X-Men that would be kind of like a new viewing point for how Krakoa is. And now I won't be able to write it because allegedly Krakoa is going away. And I'm like, there was still so much you could do. Like,
I get it. I love the House of X stuff. I love that. I thought issue 2 of House of X, when you discover that Moira, I think that's absolutely spot on.
That's great.
After that, I'm like, it just went on too long. It just went.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know which X book you're talking about. I won't say. I quite like the Jean Grey book.
That one was good. I love how they play the what ifs, but within her mind space.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
that was very. I love the respect for history, but also asking, well, what if I did this differently? Like that,
Yeah.
that's a nice twist on things. That was not the book. I'll promise.
And because it's contained in her memory, in
Yes.
her head, there's no great ramifications to it, so we don't have to worry about
Yes.
continuity. It's like boom, this is what could have happened. Oh yeah, but if I'd done this, then this could have happened, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
It was in. I mean, I liked the last issue with Wolvie getting the power of the Phoenix and begging to be killed the way that Jean Grey begged to be killed back in the Dark Phoenix. I thought there was a nice parable there going on. So
Yeah, or in the first issue where Jean Grey went like too far and like scrambled Magneto's mind and how that forced certain things to happen. I'm just like, oh, this got dark.
Yeah, there's a book, and Marvel they're doing like this Dark series, and it's like a couple of weeks ago they did Dark Carnage. I'm thinking to myself, well, isn't Carnage dark by definition anyway?
Well, he's chaos by definition.
Well, I'm not a symbiote fan, so
yeah. It's all right.
Like, you're building it up there with your t-shirt going on there. It's cool.
You like what you like and you don't what you don't. I've never been the biggest Venom fan. Like I don't like the Tom Hardy movies. Yes, I know. Ha ha ha. But
no, I don't like the Venom movies.
I was just like, I watched the first one. I'm just like, and then everyone's like, oh yeah, but it's like so bad, it's good. And like, but then by definition, it's bad. And then like apparently the sequel, which I didn't even bother to watch, was just like there. I'm like, how do you screw up Venom versus Carnage? And they found a way. And then the whole MCU tease was nothing at all. Like that was talking about faux pas. Like that was huge. So hey, let's bring Venom in the MCU. Okay, let's do nothing with him after. Okay.
I am with you on this one. Right. So Tokyo Blade, as we mentioned, it has got 5 days left at the time of recording. So here it is. Here's the link. Go check it out. Yes, I know it's a Kickstarter link. Yes, I know it's humongous. But all you got to really do is go to Kickstarter, type in Tokyo Blades. Watch how you spell Tokyo. No, that's support. That was supposed to be missing. So just saying Tokyo. Just saying. Get the spelling right, and it will take you right to this point. All right, simple as. It's that simple. Yeah. It's already funded. That means whatever you pledge, and getting the book pledge, obviously not just the dollar pledge, that means you are guaranteed that book. All right. So if you've pledged for like the 2 volumes, they're already done. So you will get up to speed like that. What more could you want? Great jumping on point, Todd. Absolutely. Get everyone. This could be someone's first podcast, someone's first comic book they're going to check out. So you're giving that opportunity to get involved. Very well done, sir.
Thank you, Johnny.
All right. Give me your last 30 seconds to 60 seconds pitch of why people should be checking out Tokyo Blade.
Well, Tokyo Blade is a really big passion project for me. It's my tribute to everything anime that I love. It's got great characters, deep stories. The first 2 arcs are a whole lot of fun. Laser swords, ladies and gentlemen, and a whole bunch of other things. And we're setting up for some really big arcs in the future, including a very, very dark one next time. So you're definitely going to want to check it out. So please give it a shot. Even if you only pledge $1, that really does help. So thank you.
There you go. Excellent. So we are done for another show. I know Todd's super busy. So thank you so much for spending the time. I really do appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Help me out, Johnny.
Hey, man, you know what? I've said this loads of times, but for you, sir, there's always a seat available. And we will get to doing a Babylon 5 special.
Yes.
There's one of my co-hosts on No Prize loves Babylon 5.
There you go.
If we can swing it, he's over in Eastern Standard, you're in Central, I'm in UK. If we can swing the time zones, I think we should do it.
I guarantee you won't be able to guess my favorite episode.
All right.
Just saying, like it's
not in season 5, is it?
No, definitely not. Sorry, JFS, but season 5.
I will say I do have a soft spot for season 1.
Oh, season 1's good. Season 1's good.
Yeah, once it gets past Alien of the Week, it gets really good.
Yeah. Everyone's got to start somewhere. Never forget, Star Trek TNG had like a terrible first season, but once
Yeah.
it really found its footing, like it was legendary. So the first season is always the let's just find our footing, you know.
My favorite episode is the first one where we meet where we meet Mr. Morton. He's going around
Oh
all the
yeah,
ambassadors.
with Ironheart. No,
Yeah, no, he goes in, then he goes around all the ambassadors. What do you want? And
oh
he
Morden.
gets no,
Right,
yeah,
I heard
Morton.
something else. Morden, yeah, him.
And then he gets absolutely no joy from anyone apart from Londo. And Londo's just had a bit of a bad day. He's like, oh, I want to see the land destroyed. I want to see this. And he says, all in good time, Mr. Ambassador. And then he bumps into Kosh, and Kosh just leave this place and all that. And it's just that episode, that and Soul Hunters.
That Soul Hunters was good too.
So that's kind of where I'm at.
A tease for next time.
A tease for next time. Right, there you go. We're all done and dusted. Don't forget to check out the UCPN for all your favourite shows. In fact, why don't you check the LOTP records, because you'll then get to see this guy talk more about the books when they first started. And then you get more bang for your book. Obviously, if you're doing that, don't look for that Kickstarter, because that one's closed already. Focus on this one.
Yes, focus on this one.
Yeah, and of course, if you like Marvel, don't forget No Price Podcast. For you DC fans, it is all about the Definitive Crusade. And if you, like me, are an old timer and like comics of a certain age, then the Old Timers Comic Book Show is for you. There you go, Todd. It's been an absolute blast again, sir.
Always a pleasure, Johnny.
I'm absolutely so pleased you reached out. Anytime you need me, just give me a shout and
I will
put this together. All right, man.
All right.
There you go. All done and done. I've been your host, Johnny Machine Hughes, and as always, adios.
Visit undercovercapes.com for the latest and greatest podcasts via the Undercover Capes Podcast Network. Also visit our parent company website, comiccrusaders.com, all about comic pop culture.